What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got an amazing duel to show for you guys, and this one is possibly the greatest turn 1 field you will ever see in your entire life. This thing is like unbeatable, and it's so ridiculously random how you're going to actually make this board. This is called the Okami Sharingan, shoutouts to Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and it requires a whole bunch of kind of random monsters. A lot of them are worm based. You see he has some True Kings in his hand, he's got some Yang Zings, which I was like, wow, old school Yang Zings are still a thing with Bixie. Haven't seen those put on the field in a very long time, and I thought maybe this was going to be like some sort of Yang Zing control play. I was like, well, you know, Denlong is kind of banned. People don't really mess with Yang Zings in the TCG that much, but I want you guys to see all the absurdity that you can do, and if you pull this off against basically any meta deck in the TCG, there's no way they're going to win. The board you make is like it's like 99% uncrackable. So he goes with Palu, then he summons Bixie, summons the True King of Water. That's going to activate Bixie in the graveyard. His other True King's going to activate as well. He summons Chiwin and Palu. Going to go for Crystalline Needle Fiber, summons Jet Synchron. This is not TCG legal yet, and this is where the play starts kind of popping off. When he goes for Summon Sorceress, and he summons Ryu Okami to his opponent's side of the field. You guys have probably seen this card used with some nutty shenanigans. What it says is, if your opponent special summons a monster, your opponent sends one card from their extra deck to the graveyard. Now, since your opponent controls this card, you are their opponent. So every time you special summon, you get to send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and that's cool because it triggers things like Herald of the Arc Light and Cyber Nova Dragon, and you can actually summon a bunch of monsters for free. Sometimes you can search. If you need to get cards back into your graveyard, you can send Omega, and that can just, you know, act as a resource. So I just want you guys to see all the just absolute BS that you can do with this deck. So he's going and popping off. He's going to search Advanced Ritual Art. He sends Nova to the grave to get Rampage. He's going to Omega to go put the Arc back in his deck. He's gonna send that Arc back to the graveyard again. Now he's gonna search Lord of Red, if I'm not mistaken. Lord of Red, that's my guy right there. He's gonna go for True King of all Calamities, so you're not gonna be using any monster effects next turn. Then he's gonna go for Skull Deep just to get even more monsters on the field. He doesn't even need that draw effect. He's gonna summon, I believe, ABC Buster Dragon, but no, first he's gonna go for Nova Dragon the old school way. Then he's gonna rank that into Infinity, and ABC Buster Dragon is going to come out at some point. He sends Nova to the grave to summon Invoked Merkaba. He's going to negate his own Okami just so he doesn't have to worry about that. There's the Buster Dragon. Now he activates ARA and he summons Lord of Red. So this is a 6 monster turn 1 with Skull Deet, Invoked Merkaba, Cyber Dragon Infinity, ABC Buster Dragon, Lord of Red, and True King of all Calamities. How the fuck are you supposed to beat that? Now I know some of you guys are like, wait a minute, he can't even activate Buster Dragon's effect because he don't got no zones open. That is true, and he also doesn't have a hand, so he can't activate the discard effect, or he can't activate Merkaba. But it doesn't matter. You're not using monster effects this turn anyways. True King of all Calamities, bro. And then if you have a spell or a trap, he's just gonna negate that with Cyber Dragon Infinity. So like, if you're a Pendulum or a Spiral player, what are you doing against this field? Same thing with Trick Stars, you know, ABC. Like, what are you doing? This is what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead, you're going to set a monster, and then you can get OTK next turn. That's exactly what you're going to do. He sets a monster, and then he gets OTK next turn. I'm thinking I probably wouldn't have attacked the monster. I probably would have discarded with Buster Dragon, and if my opponent would have used Ghost Ogre or something, I would have aided up with Cyber Dragon Infinity, because, well, I guess it didn't matter. Even if it was an effect monster, Cyber Dragon Infinity just negates during the damage step. You can't Ghost Ogre in the damage step. So, like, again, what are you really doing? You're not doing anything. You're gonna set a card, you can go TK. So that's basically what it is. I thought this was pretty awesome. I'm gonna pause and just show the deck really quickly. So this is what the deck looks like on paper. It's actually not as strange as I would have imagined. Is it called Sharingan? I don't know why I think I said Sharingan at the beginning, but I started watching Naruto originally dubbed and not subbed, and then I switched over, so maybe that's why I call it Sharingan. I think maybe that's how they pronounce it there. Yeah, obviously there's going to be a whole bunch of worm monsters, 3 copies of Ryu Okami. If you do draw these guys, my best guess is that you're probably going to try to blow them up with Dragonic Diagram, so I guess there's no, harm charm and opening some of the bad cards. Same thing with hand destruction to try and draw more cards. I think One Day of Peace is just a natural fit in this deck because it, like, doing damage doesn't really matter, especially if you're going first. You're going to make your lock board. Your opponent, you know, outside of something like Mirror Force plus Solemn Strike, isn't going to really have a chance to do anything, and then you're just going to win. And even if they do have Mirror Force Solemn Strike, you are going to be drawing during your turn, so you could use the Buster Dragon to, you know, get rid of their monster. If they strike it, then the rest of your monsters just attack for game, possibly. You know, this deck doesn't look all that weird. There are going to be a bunch of one-ups like, you know, Lord of Ray, but it's a searchable card. Same thing with AR Ray. ABC pieces, you're just running one of them because you're just going to summon that one Buster Dragon. And yeah, it's a really interesting deck. I do like the Exodius just to put everything back into your deck, so I don't know, maybe you go ahead and try it again during your next turn. If somehow you end up losing your entire board, maybe Exodius sets you up so that you can do the entire thing again. But I just thought it was a very interesting deck and a very interesting turn, no doubt about that.